It's disgusting what's going on with her. You guys need to put a stop to this because it is going too far. She was out there hacking again versus Phoenix today. And not only was she out there hacking and doing all of that stuff, let's look at her trying to interrupt the Phoenix Mercury's huddle and start a fight with Satou Sabally and Mercury players. Let's look at this nonsense. You guys need to put a stop to this. Y'all need to put a stop.
The WNBA is in crisis. One player's unchecked aggression is systematically turning professional basketball into a chaotic street fight, and the league's leadership is doing absolutely nothing to stop it. What's unfolding on the court is not just disturbing, it's actively sabotaging the league's future, threatening to derail everything it has painstakingly built. Get ready, because the shocking truth about how one player is running wild, unchallenged, and how the entire league is failing to enforce order is about to be laid bare.
There's some serious drama going down here after this ball game ended. Well, I'm surprised security.
Now you see her go approach her? You see her go approach her? You see her go approach her from behind? And that look, her teammates are having to pull her back and all of that. Bruh, you lost. Y'all got smacked. Y'all have won one game. Take your sorry asses to the locker room. Take y'all sorry asses to the locker room. Y'all won one game all year. Shout out to Paige. You had a hell of a performance today. Y'all stink. Don't interrupt the other team huddle. Take y'all trash team to the locker room, bro.
The final buzzer had barely pierced the arena's air, signifying another crushing loss for one team, but the real, jaw-dropping spectacle was only just beginning. In a scene that left seasoned observers utterly stunned and social media ablaze, Dijonai Carrington, a player whose on-court antics have become a troubling signature, didn't head for the locker room. Instead, she stormed directly toward the Phoenix Mercury's huddle. This wasn't some accidental collision or a momentary burst of frustration. This was a brazen, calculated invasion, a clear, unmistakable attempt to instigate a full-blown physical altercation with Satou Sabally and any Mercury player who dared stand in her path.
Are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing this season? What happened to you in the offseason? Who hurt you, Dijonai? Ever since the season tipped off, you have been a one-person wrecking ball, wrecking havoc on the floor, wrecking havoc after the game, approaching officials, eye-raking Jessica Shepard. Another week, another day of dirtbag Dijonai Carrington. A game where Paige Bueckers had her best game as a pro. Paige Bueckers.
Cameras, unforgiving in their lens, captured every single damning second. Carrington, her face a mask of seething rage, aggressively approaching Sabally from behind, forcing her own teammates to physically wrestle her away, literally pulling her back from the brink of a public brawl. This transcended mere heated competition. It was a deeply hostile, flagrant act of provocation. Dallas had just absorbed another merciless beating, adding to their dismal one-win record for the entire season. Yet Carrington acted as if she owned the court, as if her team's abysmal performance entitled her to unleash venom. The universal cry from fans, from anyone with an ounce of common sense, should have been a resounding, "Take your sorry asses to the locker room." Yet instead, we bore witness to an unhinged public spectacle, a paid professional athlete attempting to transform a regulated sports arena into her personal battleground. And the league's immediate, almost deafening response? A collective indifferent shrug, leaving everyone to wonder if the WNBA had simply abandoned its own rules of engagement.
In drama yet again in another basketball game, and this time it's with a top-notch player, man. Her and Satou Sabally had a powerful exchange after this game, and you already know Phoenix put the beast on Dallas. Dallas, one of the worst teams in the league. This should come as no surprise, bro. But one thing I can tell you is Dijonai Carrington behavior is starting to look a little spooky, bro. At this point, bro, something has to be done.
And this wasn't a singular, isolated eruption, a random anomaly in an otherwise calm season. No, what we witnessed was merely the latest, most flagrant chapter in a deeply unsettling saga. Dijonai Carrington has spent the entire season acting as a one-person wrecking ball, systematically demolishing decorum and leaving a trail of chaos in her wake. From the precise moment the season tipped off, she has been a relentless force, unleashing mayhem on the court itself, only to then again escalate her aggression after the game's conclusion. Does anyone recall her previous highly publicized run-ins? She's been explicitly called out for flagrantly targeting officials, for disturbing incidents involving other players like Jessica Shepard.
You know, Satou Sabally low-key was going at it the entire game. Okay, they both they were like doing pretty good guarding and defending each other. Like it was starting to get heated up again. They're very competitive women. Okay, Satou Sabally stands at 6'4". Dijonai Carrington is at 5'11". The truth is, though, low key, they kind of have been going at it, so to speak, for some years now. I remember I saw a clip back in from 2023. Just YouTube it here, guys. It's on YouTube here for free. Just type in Dijonai Carrington, Satou Sabally 2023. They got into it, they kind of clashed, and then Dijonai Carrington had said something to her out of bounds. She did something to her. She got fined $200, and then they was on Twitter talking about it. And Dijonai Carrington had added Satou Sabally. She was like, "Come on, Satou, you know it ain't even got to be like this." And Satou Sabally was like, "Girl, whatever." Again, Satou Sabally, okay, has been she's slick at the mouth, okay. Her and Dijonai Carrington, they act like they ain't got no media training. They act like they ain't got no home training.
This isn't just about throwing elbows in the paint anymore. We are now routinely witnessing full-on karate chops delivered mid-broadcast, moments where she seems to channel her inner Bruce Lee during what should be routine layup attempts. It's as if every post-game handshake, every seemingly innocuous interaction is secretly an intense audition for a Cobra Kai WNBA edition stunt sequence. Blink too quickly, and you might tragically miss her next unpredictable act of unbothered, belligerent chaos. This deeply ingrained pattern of behavior isn't simply aggressive, it's a profoundly concerning display of unchecked, escalating belligerence that screams no, demands immediate and decisive intervention. The question isn't if she'll ignite another incident, but when and how spectacularly it will unfold.
Here, why is she even up there? Get her out of here. Dijonai Carrington, you have done enough. WNBA, are you going to step in? Remember the last time I said, since the refs won't handle her doing all these flagrants, somebody gonna have to step up and fight. Now we're after the game and she's approaching someone to fight. She's approaching someone hostile. You too hostile. You just got popped. Y'all have lost 10 games. You have won 1 game. Get your ass to the locker room.
Yet, with all this raw, undeniable chaos unfolding, where precisely is the league's leadership? Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, appears utterly, bafflingly detached, performing as if she's presiding over a serene yoga retreat rather than overseeing a multi-million-dollar professional sports league teetering on the edge of anarchy. While the court rapidly transforms into a chaotic, dangerous battleground, Engelbert consistently projects an image of tranquil indifference, as if she's sipping chamomile tea, blissfully unaware that the very foundation of her league is ablaze. Is she genuinely managing a professional sports league, or is she merely hosting an anger management support group where the only score is who can throw the most aggressive tantrum? It's beyond baffling. It's an insult to the game and its athletes.
What else happened last night? Dijonai Carrington said, "Oh, what? Paige Beckers is going to get all this shine after her amazing game? Paige Beckers is going to get all this publicity after this amazing game? How do I take the spotlight off my teammate, act like a child, and have everybody's eyes on me? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to approach Satou Sabally. As the Phoenix Mercury are over here huddling, Satou Sabally gets into it with one of the Wings teammates. They're over here. Yeah, you see? Yeah, Satou Sabally jawing at Dijonai. And that's Dijonai. That's dirtbag Dijonai, by the way, with that thigh tattoo, as you see over here.
She has been handed the metaphorical whistle and a fully charged fire extinguisher, yet she stands idly by, allowing multiple infernos to rage unchecked. This isn't merely WNBA beef, it's a full-blown, deeply unsettling, and increasingly dangerous spicy showdown. And her consistent, almost deliberate inaction in the face of escalating violence is, perhaps, the most shocking and infuriating aspect of this entire debacle. The league is morphing into a full-contact, brutal soap opera, complete with unexpected plot twists and jarring physical altercations, and Engelbert is perpetually nowhere to be found, likely sequestered in a boardroom, drafting yet another meticulously soft, agonizingly vague statement about sportsmanship and high standards, while the league's credibility burns around her. She doesn't need a public relations team, she needs a referee crew equipped with riot shields, because what's happening on that court is no longer passionate competition, it's borderline battery, and her silence sanctions it.
How did security let that go on for so long? How does WNBA security not usher them off of the floor? How are y'all allowing them to stay on the floor that long when you see it's becoming hostile? Especially with her reputation. Y'all supposed to get them off the floor. Get them off the floor. You don't see the other team. When Minnesota plays at home, right? When Minnesota plays at home and after the game, they do their dance, step thing, whatever it is they do. You don't see the other team out there. No, the other team beat it. They just smacked y'all. Skate, get out of here. Skedaddles, have a safe flight home. You don't see the other team out there when the minutes, like, come on. Y'all lost. Y'all been losing. WNBA, y'all.
But here's the truly insidious, chilling kicker that exposes the cynical core of this escalating crisis. Dijonai Carrington is no random aggressor, no spontaneous hothead. She is, to her core, a profoundly selective bully. This isn't chaos without calculation, it's a meticulously planned strategy of intimidation. She picks her victims with the cold, precise deliberation of someone drafting their ultimate fantasy fight club roster. She only confronts and provokes players she's absolutely confident she can physically or at least psychologically steamroll. Imagine for a moment the sheer audacity. Now try to picture her attempting that exact same aggressive nonsense on formidable powerhouses like Aja Wilson or the towering Brittany Griner or even the fiercely respected Candace Parker. How fast do you imagine she would be utterly folded like a cheap beach chair? The answer is instantaneous. Instead, Carrington conspicuously squares up with rookies, with players under 6 feet, treating these confrontations as if they were a casual afternoon hobby. It exudes an undeniable playground energy. She's that schoolyard tyrant who deliberately slaps your lunch tray off the table, but only if she's absolutely certain you won't physically retaliate. This isn't courage, it's classic bully behavior, a flimsy bravado underpinned by an undeniable safety net. And do you know what? That's the most stinging, most infuriating part of all. She knows exactly what she's doing. This isn't the heat of the moment, the raw passion of competition. This is premeditated mayhem, liberally spiced with an oversized ego and a generous, unchecked side of profoundly poor judgment. Her actions are a calculated performance, designed not to win games, but to dominate narratives and assert a twisted, toxic form of control.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a conversation that could also be important for the next CBA. You know, Kathy added a lot of games, and us as players, recovery is so important. We put our bodies on the line every single time. We had 9 games in 18 days. That's not really responsible for a commissioner. I think other teams have like 3 back-to-back, so it's just a lot of things that we could clean up in terms of scheduling, but we've persevered and we show that we can do it. It's just something that obviously along the way over the course of a long season, that's really hard to do.
And then there's the undeniable stomach-churning detail of the hair pulling. Yes, you heard that right, loud and clear. We have reached an utterly surreal point where WNBA players are openly snatching each other's hair extensions like it's the dramatic climax of a Real Housewives reunion special. How, in the name of professional sports, did we devolve from the artistry of fast breaks and elegant fadeaways to this? A full-on primitive follicle warfare. Anyone needs to urgently call the league office, not just to dole out paltry fines, but to demand hazard pay for simply existing on that court. Forget the need for standard mouth guards. At this point, these ladies require full-on helmets and ironclad insurance waivers. The ugly truth buried beneath the surface of recent outbursts is that Carrington and Satou Sabally have harbored a deeply personal, simmering feud for years. Go back to 2023 and you'll find the clips. They clashed intensely, and Carrington even fired off some venomous words at Sabally out of bounds, earning a measly $200 fine, a slap on the wrist for behavior that should have warranted a lengthy suspension. And it didn't stop there. The animosity shamefully spilled onto social media, where Carrington disingenuously tried to feign niceness, posting things like, "Come on, Satou, you know it ain't even got to be like this," only for Sabally to savagely hit back with a dismissive, Girl, whatever. Sabally, herself known for being slick at the mouth, and Carrington, who consistently acts like she's had no media training, no semblance of professional coaching, are perpetuating a toxic cycle. This isn't just a rivalry, it's a festering, deeply personal animosity that repeatedly boils over, contaminating the game itself and dragging the league's image through the mud, exposing a disturbing lack of self-control and professional conduct that should not be tolerated at this level of play.
The WNBA needs to step in and solve this nonsense, man. Y'all are allowing this girl to run around like a menace. And like I said, Satou, we all know Satou kind of soft. It is what it is. Like Satou ain't with all that. She know who to pick and choose to play these games with. She wouldn't have, you see Alyssa Thomas was stopping it. She wouldn't have did what that wolfing she was doing with Satou. She would never do that with Alyssa Thomas, who was there. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that at all. At all. At all. Y'all got popped by 13 points. You guys are 1-10.
But beyond the primary aggressor and the absent commissioner, a profoundly disturbing question lingers. What about the other players? Where was the support, the intervention, the collective pushback from those who supposedly embody the league's spirit? The most baffling, frustrating, and ultimately disheartening aspect of this bizarre WNBA drama fest is the startling, almost deliberate silence from prominent players, particularly someone like Skylar Diggins-Smith. Skylar, the very same Skylar who effortlessly struts around the court like she personally invented toughness, who swaggers up and down the hardwood with the swagger of a final boss in a video game, simply stood by and allowed Dijonai Carrington to run wild, completely unchecked, like an unsupervised toddler off its leash. There wasn't even a side eye, not even a dramatic cutting clapback. Diggins-Smith was practically in airplane mode, a phantom presence during a critical moment. For someone who consistently talks the talk, who never misses an opportunity to flex her attitude, whose highlight reels come with their own dedicated soundtrack of sass and smirks, she astonishingly turned into a ghost the very instant things got truly spicy. Where was all that celebrated alpha energy when the league desperately needed someone, anyone, to pump the brakes on this escalating chaos? Instead, everyone inexplicably just let it happen. DJ went full Mortal Kombat again, and the veteran players, the supposed guardians of the game's integrity, stood around like background dancers in her villain origin story. It's as if no one, absolutely no one, wants to be the adult in the room, leading to an extremely dangerous ripple effect, a chilling chain reaction of unchecked aggression that threatens to turn every WNBA game into a gladiator arena with occasional, almost incidental free throws. Their silence isn't just passive, it's complicit, sending a terrifying message that such behavior is not only permissible, but perhaps even encouraged.
Clearly allowing her to bully, attack, say whatever, do whatever she want to any damn players. There is no disciplinary actions. There is no nothing with Dijonai Carrington, bro. I mean, this is getting out of hand, dog. And it's just so crazy to me that this is yet another week. I mean, well, not even a week. Another game, and we have a Dijonai Carrington situation, bro. A whole damn situation, bro.
This isn't merely about one player's erratic antics. It's a direct existential threat to the WNBA's fragile, hard-won comeback story. We are undeniably witnessing a jaw-droppingly self-destructive spiral that could plunge the league into irrelevance. Here you have generational talent, players with genuine magnetic star power, literally carrying the league's newfound visibility on their backs. And at the epicenter of this seismic shift is Caitlin Clark. She isn't just another player. She's the golden ticket, the undeniable catalyst for unprecedented ad revenue, the singular reason millions of new eyes are finally fixated on women's basketball. And yet, disturbingly, the league seems to be treating her like an expendable rookie instead of the absolute lifeline she unequivocally is. Instead of protecting that precious energy, uplifting the game's image, and riding this monumental wave of public interest, some players are too preoccupied trying to body slam each other and fight over who gets to claim the dubious title of the league's next chaos queen. Do they not grasp the colossal stakes at play? Do they genuinely believe Caitlin Clark will stick around indefinitely just to be blindsided by flying fists, petty fouls, and relentless toxic drama every single game? If this unhinged behavior persists, do not under any circumstances be shocked if she starts seriously eyeing a lucrative European contract. Imagine a league across the Atlantic where the fans would genuinely appreciate her brilliance, where the teams would meticulously meticulously build around her unparalleled talent, and, crucially, where they absolutely would not use her as a crash test dummy to prove some twisted, warped point about toughness. That would be the cataclysmic end of this beautiful, fragile comeback, the very momentum the WNBA was just beginning to experience. This league is not bulletproof. It utterly lacks the immense cushion or entrenched clout of its male counterparts to absorb this kind of sustained, self-inflicted drama and still continue its climb. The potential for a catastrophic collapse is no longer hypothetical. It's a chillingly plausible reality.
Of course, when you have two competitive women, okay, who are very spicy, very, they're gonna speak their mind. It is what it is. They got that no nonsense attitude. They gonna clash. Low key during that Unrivaled, okay, back in February when it was 1v1, they damn near was fighting, okay, when it was Satou Sabally up against Dijonai Carrington. Satou Sabally, again, she's 6'4", large wingspan, she's bigger and stronger and taller than Dijonai Carrington. She was tossing Dijonai Carrington around like a damn rag doll.
The WNBA stands at an undeniable precipice, teetering on the edge of self-destruction. If Cathy Engelbert doesn't immediately seize control, if she doesn't get a firm, resolute grip on this spiraling chaos, the league will no longer be celebrated for its elite talent, its inspiring athletes, or its growing cultural influence. Instead, it will become notoriously known as the league where you might just catch a brutal right hook before you can even catch your breath. The time for polite warnings, for vague appeals to sportsmanship is over. It's time to stop handing out paltry fines and start delivering actual impactful repercussions. If Dijonai Carrington or any other player turns another post-game moment into their own personal unscripted fight club, and the league's leadership responds with anything less than severe, decisive action, then we are left with no choice but to conclude that Cathy Engelbert is running this entire operation from an underwater bunker, completely devoid of Wi-Fi and any connection to reality. Punishment is no longer an option, it is an absolute necessity for survival. The WNBA simply cannot afford to descend into a grotesque parody of itself, where every tense matchup ends with someone on the floor in pain and someone else going viral for all the absolute worst reasons. Dijonai Carrington cannot continue to walk away from these incidents like she's the main character in some dramatic telenovela, storming off dramatically after setting the entire building on fire. We desperately need order, we desperately need leadership, and most urgently of all, we need Cathy Engelbert to snap awake, to finally start acting like the resolute commissioner of a professional sports league and not merely the overwhelmed director of a chaotic, unsupervised summer camp. Because the only thing more truly ridiculous than Dijonai Carrington's relentless, unhinged antics is the fact that at this very moment, no one, absolutely no one with the power to do so, is actually stopping her. If this continues unchecked, ESPN might as well schedule WNBA highlights directly after a Real Housewives of Atlanta marathon for a seamless genre transition. The league must choose, and quickly, legitimate, respected sport or a sensationalized, trashy reality TV circus. The very future of women's basketball, its hard-earned respect, and its burgeoning popularity hang precariously in the balance.